Okay. We're going to start off with the LA County Land Acknowledgement. The County of Los Angeles recognizes that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, Tataviam, Serrano, Quiche, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants, past, present, and emerging, as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. We acknowledge that settler colonization resulted in land seizure, disease, subjugation, slavery, relocation, broken promises, genocide, and multi-generational trauma. This acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of Los Angeles County. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on these ancestral lands. We are dedicated to growing and sustaining relationships with Native peoples and local tribal governments, including, in no particular order, the Fernandeño Tataviam Band of Mission Indians, Gabrielino Tongva Indians of California Tribal Council, Gabrieleno Tongva San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians, Gabrieleño Band of Mission Indians, Quiche Nation, Yuhaviatam of San Manuel Nation, San Fernando Band of Mission Indians, Coastal Band of Chumash Nation, Gabrielino Tongva Nation, and Gabrielino Tongva Tribe. We'll put some more information in the chat if you're interested to learn more about the First Peoples of Los Angeles County and the work of the LA City County Native American Indian Commission. And in terms of our agenda today, we are going to review these grant opportunities that are opening up at the end of this month for nonprofit organizations. We have the LA County Arts Internship Program. This is to host college students. The Bloomberg Arts Internship Program, which is a new program for organizations to host rising high school seniors. The Organizational Grant Program, which is grants to nonprofit arts organizations, and I know many of you are OGP grantees, as well as our Community Impact Arts Grant, which is projects to support arts programming and projects taking place at nonprofit social service and social justice organizations and in tribal and municipal governments. We'll also cover serving as a grants panelist at the very end. In case your organization is not ready to apply this cycle, you can help review and score applications during our panel review process early next year. We ask that you keep in mind that these grants are for nonprofit arts organizations or social service nonprofits or fiscally sponsored Model A organizations. We do not have any opportunities in terms of grants for individual artists in this webinar. So folks are welcome to stay on and listen about these opportunities or serve as a panelist in the future. We're going to have some time for a brief Q&A after each presentation. Please put your questions in the chat. And we're encouraging everyone, if there's a program you're interested in, to please, please, please attend a full workshop or sign up for office hours. And all of that information will be available later this month. Next slide, please. In terms of housekeeping, we ask that everyone be muted and please ask questions in the chat. This info session will be recorded, and afterwards we'll post the recording on our website and email the link to everyone. You'll also have access to the slides. And at the end of the webinar, if you still have specific questions, we ask that you email the program, the direct programming questions. So we'll have all those emails at the very end. Next slide. So again, just as a pro tip, make sure once they're available, which it will be at the end of this month, take a look at the program guidelines, the sample application and instructions for each program. There are nuances. They're not the same guidelines across the board for all of the programs. Just flagging that you're the expert. And so in the applications, this is your opportunity to share the work that your organization does. And we always just let folks know, assume that the panelists do not know your organization or the importance of the work you do. So that's your opportunity to really highlight that. And these are the program deadlines. I know this might look like acronym soup right now, OGP, CIAG, BAI, AIP, what's the difference? And all with different deadlines. But we're going to go through the programs now, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding at the end of this webinar. Next slide, please. We're going to start off with the Arts Internship Program, and I am so pleased to introduce Martin Hernandez, who manages this program.
Thanks so much, everybody. Hello, hello. Thanks so much for making the time to be here. I'm seeing a couple questions in the chat about the slides. If you see two tabs at the top of your Zoom window, one that says meeting and one that says Mara Morris, please be sure you are clicking on the tab that says Mara Morris, and that should reveal the slides to you if you are not seeing them. Hello again. My name is Martin Hernandez. I'm the Arts Internship Program Manager here with the Grants and Professional Development team. It's an honor to be with you all today. And I just want to echo Angie's sentiment. We are condensing a lot of information down into some very, very select slides. So this is really meant to be a teaser and an introduction, and we welcome you to attend an application workshop in the coming weeks if you are interested. So here on this slide, you actually see the program vision. So just a little bit of background. Our program started in the year 2000 as a sister program to the Getty Merrill Undergraduate Internship Program. These two programs have since run on parallel tracks and together constitute the largest paid arts internship program for college students in the country. We are so grateful to the Getty for their longstanding support and partnership since this program's inception. What you see here, as I mentioned, is the mission statement for the program, which acknowledges that interns gain a wide variety of benefits from the experience, regardless of whether or not they ultimately pursue a career in the arts. We believe that the program, both the experience within your organizations as well as through the educational opportunities that we provide, interns will gain valuable skills that are transferable to contexts both inside and outside of the arts. To date, more than 3,500 students have participated in this program, and one of the wonderful things that we've seen in the last decade is an increasing number of former interns who are popping up in leadership positions all over LA County. We even have former interns who are returning as mentors for various pieces of the program. We are so proud that since the year 2000, all of the interns in the history of the program have contributed over 1.4 million hours of work to the field. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about eligibility. Like all of our grant programs, and some of this Angie just mentioned, this is a grant program for organizations, not for individuals. You must be, all applicants must be nonprofit arts organizations that have had their 501c3 status for at least 2 years. We also define an arts organization as one that spends 51% of its budget or more on arts-related programming. Your organization also cannot be a part of a college or university. Fiscally sponsored organizations are okay as long as your fiscal sponsor, again, is located in California, you are under a Model A arrangement, and can provide proof. Your fiscal sponsor must also be willing and able to handle all payments and contracting that is required by the program. Next slide. Because this is a county program, your organization must be based here in LA County. That means that you are physically located here and that your mission is to serve the residents of this region. You must be an actively functioning organization, meaning that you have a board that meets regularly with more than half of your board members living here in California. You must also produce a minimum of 4 programs or performances per year, virtual or in person, and adhere to all applicable laws. Current and former grantees of our Community Impact Arts Grant, also known as CIAG, who you will be hearing from a little bit later, are also able to apply as long as they are in good standing with the CIAG grant. Next slide. To touch briefly on ineligibility, as I mentioned previously, if your organization is part of a college or university or is a visual arts organization, such as an art museum or a gallery, your organization would be ineligible to apply for internship. This includes current grantees of our sister program, OGP, or the Organizational Grant Program. Organizations that apply to and receive funding from OGP as a visual arts organization are also not eligible to participate. This is because the Getty Merrill Internship Program that I mentioned earlier provides internships to museums and visual arts organizations only. We've included a link to that program on this slide, and we're actually going to drop it here in the chat. So if you are a visual arts organization, we highly encourage you to check out their program. And again, if your organization is currently an OGP grantee, please double check what artistic discipline you applied to OGP under in order to determine your eligibility. All right, now that we've talked about eligibility, let's talk about awards. Awards in this program are grants directly to organizations to cover the hourly cost of one internship for 400 hours at minimum wage. This year, we anticipate being able to make about 118 awards in total. How much you are eligible for depends on your organization's budget size, which is broken down in this table here. Organizations with budgets under $500,000 or $500,000 will receive an additional $750 administrative stipend in their grant to help offset additional costs of hosting an intern. This includes things like purchasing equipment, payroll tax, mileage reimbursement, etc. Organizations with budgets over $500,000 are not eligible to receive the $750 administrative stipend and will need to plan for these additional costs. Next slide. Each of your internship applications is a unique project-based proposal for your intern. Successful projects can run the gamut, but usually fall into the categories you see listed on the slide here. Ultimately, we want proposals that are substantive. They shouldn't be a backlog of projects that everyone else has avoided, and they should be specific. A common mistake we see in these applications is framing the proposal as a staff position. While we want there to be substantive work for the intern, they are not a substitute for staffing gaps in your organization. Your organization will also need to carefully consider your capacity to mentor and supervise an intern and speak to your approach for doing so as part of the application. If you're looking for some inspiration, please be sure to check out our website for the current list of positions. We're dropping that link in the chat. Note that the position descriptions listed there are brief and for marketing and recruitment purposes only, and the application provides significantly more space for your organization to flesh out the details. Next slide. As I mentioned previously, each of the interns works for a total of 400 hours during the program period. Your organization retains control over the structure of the internship and will identify in the application things like dates you want the position to go live on our website, the start and end dates of the internship, as well as the number of hours worked per week. However, we do have some parameters. The work window for the interns will be between June 1 of 2027 and March 1st of 2028. Meaning that all of the 400 hours of the internship and all proposed projects must be completed during that time. Interns can work a minimum of 15 hours per week and a maximum of 40 hours per week. Flexing time is not allowed, and any intern that works more than 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week must be paid overtime, which is not included in the grant. Internships will go live on the 3 dates you see on the final column of this slide. Next slide. The program is intended to support students who have a connection to Los Angeles, either as residents or as current students. So students in this program must have their own set of eligibility criteria. Excuse me. Intern candidates must be currently enrolled undergraduates at either 4-year or community colleges. We define enrolled as being signed up for at least one class at the time of application. Students who are set to graduate, so seniors of next year who will be graduating between May 1st and December 1st of 2027 are also eligible to participate. We call them recent grads. And they must either reside in or attend school in LA County. It does not have to be both, it's one or the other. And some ineligibility for students. Intern candidates may not be a high school student that is co-enrolled in college courses. And this is, of course, because you're going to hear from our colleagues in the Bloomberg program, which is a wonderful counterpart for our high school students. They also cannot have a prior bachelor's degree or higher. They cannot have participated in the program before, and they cannot be a member or a relative of a staff member, excuse me, or a relative of the organization where they are applying to be an intern. And our final slide, please. I'll end my time with you all here with our program timeline. We are, of course, over here on the left in the application period. The application for internship will close on October 8th, at which point we will move into the review of applications with the goal of hosting our review panel in January. That will allow us to notify organizations of their awards by mid-February and then move into contracting. What I really want to point your attention to here is the intern work window, which you can see quite clearly. So ultimately, you are proposing projects and internships that are taking place between June 1st of 2027 and March 1st of 2028. Again, we hope to see you at application workshop very, very soon. And I'm happy to take a couple of questions, Angie, if there's some we want to lift up.
Yes, are community college students eligible?
Absolutely. We love community college students. We do a lot of work to advertise this program to them directly. So absolutely, we would welcome community college students in this program.
There are a couple of questions in terms of defining where organizations are located. So how are we defining LA?
Yeah, so we define LA as LA County within the boundaries of LA County. And you'll hear all of us mention in a little bit, we offer office hours as part of our application windows, in addition to application workshops. So those office hours are great spaces for you to come in and sit down with us and talk through specific things that may be coming up for your organization. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat about 990s and fiscal sponsorships. So please, please, please set those office hours with any of us, and we can talk through those particulars with your organization.
And I think one more question, and this may be related to, I think, eligibility for internship program, but if not, the question is from B. Palma. It says, would a hospital with a music therapy and therapeutic arts program qualify for this program?
Again, that's something we should talk through individually, because we do need to kind of understand the structure of your organization. We are a county entity, right? When we make grants, we have to be very clear about the organizations that we're making these grants out to. So it sounds like you might be able to qualify for our Community Impact Arts Grant Program, which you'll hear about later, which then may help you qualify for internship in the future. So great questions, and hopefully, as we continue to talk about our programs, you will find something that's a good fit.
Awesome. And how many interns can be hosted by an org through AIP?
Yeah, this year it is one intern per organization. Yeah.
And let's see,
I,
Ken and
I s-
Morgan. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Martin.
yeah, I see a question here about the internship window and can it be extended? So the answer is no. The internship work window is a firm window between June and March, and that's simply because we have to have a little bit of time to be able to close out one grant cycle before we start the next. So as long as your internship proposal is taking place between June 1st of 2027 and March 1st of 2028, you are in good shape.
And I'm seeing a question here if this is restricted to visual arts and if performing arts is eligible.
Yeah,
So
so
just clarify.
this program is actually closed to visual arts organizations. This program supports all of the other artistic disciplines, dance, music, theater, film and television, so on and so forth. If you are a visual arts organization only, we encourage you to check out the Getty Merrill internship program. They are our friends and colleagues. We work very closely with them, and their internship program specifically services visual arts organizations and museums. If you are a visual arts multi-dis or visual arts education organization under OGP, you are eligible to participate in internship. But again, I invite you to have a one-on-one conversation with us so that we can make sure you're submitting the best possible proposal. And I see another question here about office hours. All of today's presentation is really just a taste of what is to come. We will be in the coming weeks announcing the full application schedule, and at that point, you will see links to all of our office hours where you can sign up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. I also see a question in here if an organization could apply for both the college and high school internships. That answer is yes, but they are different applications and different review criteria. And so I think that's a really great segue. To move on to the Bloomberg Arts Internship Program. Martin, thank you so much for your presentation. And very excited to welcome Katie Luterio from the Bloomberg Arts Internship Program to review all of the eligibility requirements. Take it away, Katie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Katie. I'm part of the Bloomberg Arts Internship Program team here at the Department of Arts and Culture, and I'm here to talk a little bit more about this new and exciting internship we have here at the county. So the Bloomberg Arts Internship is the largest paid internship program for high school students in the cultural sector, operating in 9 U.S. cities. It's funded by Bloomberg Philanthropies. And this current summer, the BAI program expanded to the West Coast, piloting programs in Los Angeles and San Francisco. And we're actually just wrapping up the first cycle of programming this week. Since 2012, the program has supported over 2,250 internships at more than 250 different cultural orgs across the country, and maintains an active alumni network. Next slide, please. Now for just a quick overview of the program. The program runs for 8 weeks. For next cycle, it will run from June 14th through August 6th. It's a summer internship. Interns will work 120 hours over this 8 weeks at their work site. Interns are paid $27.81 an hour, which is the LA County living wage according to MIT's living wage calculator. And for the interns, this is a 5 day a week commitment. As There's two main components to the program. For 3 days a week, the high school interns will be at their work site, the grantee work sites, to work their internship hours. And for the remaining 2 days of the week, the interns gather as a cohort at their assigned cohort hubs for program days. At these program days, interns participate in workshops that focus on college prep, writing, career exploration, cultural exploration, as well as cultural excursions around the county. Work sites are also eligible to apply for an extension into the school year, and where a small number of organizations are selected to continue for the rest of the school year. Um, Next, look, thank you, Mara. So eligible grantee work sites include nonprofit arts organizations, nonprofit cultural organizations, fiscally sponsored organizations, local arts agencies and municipal performing arts organizations, colleges or universities with arts and presenting organizations such as performing arts venues, museums, or galleries. Um, the a big criteria is that all grantee work sites must be located in Los Angeles County and interns must be working within Los Angeles County. Something that is important to note for BAI, visual arts organizations are eligible to apply for this grant. Next slide, please. So for BAI work sites, their responsibilities include hosting 2 to 3 high school interns for the 8 week summer internship, where the interns work on meaningful arts-based projects throughout the 8 weeks. Um, Work sites are also responsible for assigning a staff member as a supervisor to be the intern supervisor to work with and support the interns and oversee their projects. It's also important to note for BAI, this internship program is fully on site. There's no hybrid or remote work for this program, so a supervisor should also be on site 3 days a week whenever interns are working. Worksite organizations are also responsible for the recruiting, interviewing, selecting, hiring, and onboarding of their interns. And work sites are also asked to participate in an evaluation of the program, which is administered by a research firm, Wolf Brown, on behalf of Bloomberg Philanthropies. So this may include surveys, site visits, and interviews. For grant amount, each organization will be granted an award of $4,338.36 for each summer intern, which covers the 120 hours of work, as well as 30% for payroll taxes. Each organization will also be awarded an additional $2,000 for any administrative costs of bringing on a BAI intern at their org. Next slide, thank you. So for BAI, eligible students include rising high school seniors. So those will be students who are starting their junior year this year and will be graduating class of 2028. Interns must be residents and attending a public high school within Los Angeles County. They must be able to work in the US legally. They must live less than 10 miles away from the work site. So wherever the interns are working, they should live within 10 miles of that location. Interns cannot be current or former program participants at the organization and cannot be current or former intern or employee of the work site, nor a relative of any current employees, board members, trustees, officers, or directors at the work site. Next slide, please. And for the application timeline, here's a few dates to keep in mind. Applications will be opening at the end, near the end of this month, around August 26th. We'll be hosting application workshops, two of them, one on September 2nd and one on September 10th at 1 p.m. We'll discuss the program and application process more in depth and can answer any questions you might have. The deadline to submit applications is on October 7th, and notification should go out early December. So you'll know before the end of the calendar year. And that is all of the quick teaser of Bloomberg Arts Internship Program. Any questions?
Katie, I'm seeing a question. I think Karen asked a couple of examples of intern functions that were selected for funding this round. Karen, I did include the 2026 college internship descriptions. We have those there. But Katie, is there a description of this year's internships that were funded that could be shared in the chat?
Yes, I could. I'll grab that link and share it out.
Great.
Hmm?
Thank you. A question, can interns be paid as independent contractors or would they need to be W-2 employees for the high school program?
W-2 employees is strongly encouraged, but interns can be 1099.
Okay, thank you. And just to clarify, interns cannot have participated in any programs at the host site org, even if they weren't previously an intern.
Yes, correct. So any participants of the programs are not eligible for. We encourage them to look at internships at other organizations with BAI. Mhm.
Got it. And I'm seeing a question, is just one intern possible or does it have to be a team of 2 or 3?
The minimum is 2.
The minimum is 2. Thank
Mhm.
you. And are the interns working on a project together or are these individual separate projects?
Either or. Some orgs this year have a combined effort with 2 interns. Some of them have completely separate projects and roles within the organization.
And another question is, can they have been in our camp program at the work site if it's high school students that participated in a program?
No, for that, we encourage them to apply to other BAI organizations that are close, that are nearby.
Okay.
Mhm.
And a question, well, this one I think what we would go into more deeply in another workshop, but it's about 1099 versus W-2 if their work is supervised, work defined, and their salary set by the organization. So yeah, we can go into that in a fuller workshop. And is there a requirement for how long the organization has been a 501c3 for this program?
Actually, that might be a question for Kim if she's
Hi.
still. Yes.
I can jump in. Sure. Yes. So organizations must have been in operation for at least 2 consecutive years.
And that's kind of an across the board for all of our programs that there is some track record consistency with the organization. I'm seeing another question if the applicant organization has to have had a financial audit. That tends to be for organizations with budgets of 2 million or more. So it's not necessarily a requirement. For our OGP program, it is, which we will segue to in just a moment. And then for BAI, does this share the same eligibility requirement for arts organizations, i.e. 51% of the organizational budget committed to arts programming? Oh, go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, no, I'll just answer that question. There's not a specific percentage in the guidelines. However, the program is very clearly for internships at arts and cultural organizations. So where your mission is directly about providing art services for the public.
And this is also with the arts internship program. We just want to clarify arts organizations, whether they're an OGP grantee or not, may apply for AIP. If you're a social service, social justice org, you do have to be a current community impact arts, current or past community impact arts grantee, which we will go into in the when we get to that presentation at the end. So for internships, there, unless you're a CIAG grantee, your only opportunity would be through AIP once you're also a grantee of that other program. So just to clarify. And I'm seeing a few more questions, but we do want to make sure that we go on to our other programs, and I think we'll have some more time at the end. So we are going to move on to the organizational grant program. And so happy that Ann Jensen is here with us, and she will be presenting on OGP. So Ann, take it away.
Okay, hi everyone. Let's if everyone can hear me, I hope so. Yes. Okay, so OGP, or the Organizational Grant Program, provides financial support to assist and strengthen nonprofit arts organizations who provide quality arts programs and enrich the lives of Los Angeles County residents. So the grants, the OGP provides for grants that for projects that are taking place over a period of 2 years. And these grants are meant to provide general operating support for organizational capacity. They're meant to boost the organization in a way that is helpful for the overall mission of the organization. So your project scope can be overarching. The funding is meant to provide organizational support through project funding. And just as another note, these grants must be matched. Okay, next slide. So on the screen, you can see a list of the eligibility requirements for organizations who wish to apply, very similar to the previous grants we've discussed, but some basic key requirements. You must be a nonprofit or have 501(c)(3) status, or be a fiscally sponsored organization with, or be fiscally sponsored with a Model A agreement. Your principal offices must be based in LA County, as indicated on your tax forms. The primary mission of your organization is to provide arts programming, meaning that at least 50% of your budget is dedicated to arts programming, and you need to have completed at least 2 years of programming. Okay, some key things that will make you ineligible. So individual artists, or if you're not a 501(c)(3) or fiscally sponsored organization, if your primary mission is fundraising, if you are a social service or religious or welfare organizations, again, any organization that doesn't dedicate at least 50% of funding to arts programming. And as stated before, educational institutions, city or county departments and agencies, those would all be ineligible. Okay, so preparing to apply. So this list provides you with an outline of all of the supporting materials you'll need to prepare prior to applying to the OGP program. Some key things are the SMU Data Arts profiles and financial documentation, your CEI statement, or cultural equity and inclusion statement, policy or plan depending on your budget. It's different requirements per different budget levels, and artistic samples. Some things to note, financial forms may take a while to complete, so be sure to account for that into your timeline. And also remember that the financial documents, the funder report and the 990, should match. So they should be the same fiscal year, the same reported revenue within 10%. So they need to be matching year-end reported revenue. And a completed audit is only required of applicants with a budget size of over 2 million. And with artistic samples, there's different requirements for different disciplines, but many of them require video samples, and they should be less than 5 minutes in length. And you should just pay careful attention to the size and style requirements, because the panelists pay very close attention to the samples. And some additional supplemental documentation that may be necessary as well. So for example, certain arts education organizations will need to supply a curriculum. So just read the guidelines carefully to see if this requirement applies to you. And then also there are some optional materials that you can provide to give more context to the work that you do. Okay, next slide. So you'll need to ensure that you've completed and downloaded all the required financial documents before you begin the application. And these items will need to be submitted with the application as support materials. And again, just to make sure that you include this in your timeline, because compiling the financial documentation can take time to prepare and is usually the most grueling and time-consuming part of the application. All financials should show information for the same fiscal years and have an end date on or after December of 2024. The financials include your completed OGP funder report and Federal Form 990. The 990 should be filed for a tax year ending also again on or after December 31st, 2024, provided that your most recent tax filing. So ideally, you're submitting your most recent filing, but it can be on or after 2024 if that's your most recent. And the funder report from Data Arts, it's for the last 3 consecutive fiscal years, also ending on or after December 2024. So ideally, it would be 24, 25, 26. Let's see. And then for OGP 3 and 4, you would also need to provide a complete, well, for some levels of OGP 3, so it's with budgets of 2 million and up, you would need to provide the completed financial audit for your organization. Okay, so now the next slide.
Oh, and if, sorry, if
Oh,
I could
yes.
just interject. So again, there will be full workshops next month. And I just want to flag that the OGP funder report, your data arts reporting, our application materials will be available at the end of this month, but you can definitely start on the OGP funder report now. That's from Data Arts, and that's accessible at any time, especially if you have to make updates from the previous time you applied. Or if this is your first time applying, you are submitting 3 years of financial and programmatic data. And we highly recommend that you make time to do that, because you'll have to complete that before you can start on the application. Okay, end of commercial. Okay. Next
And
slide. Oh, that's me. Sorry. Okay.
and we will
There we
also
go.
have a dedicated workshop with SMU Data Arts to help you get started with that piece, or to update your Data Arts profile. Okay, so finally, this is just a helpful grid that lays out the requirements by budget category, and this will be available with all of our application materials, but just so you can sort of see what you need for each level. And that's that wraps us up for OGP for our brief overview.
Thank you so much, Anne. OGP is, I think, one of the more complex applications for nonprofit arts organizations. Based on what I saw in the chat, if you just received an OGP award this past July and have signed a contract, underlining that you are not reapplying for OGP this year. This is a 2-year grant. You would wait until next year to reapply for OGP. So current OGP grantees, you do not need to reapply. But if you were in year 2 of your grant, then yes, you are reapplying. If this does not make sense or is confusing, we'll have our OGP email at the end of this presentation, and we can absolutely let you know if you're not sure which year you're in. We can provide that info to you. So thank you, Anne, for your presentation. And here is, if you want to email Anne about OGP, it's grants@arts.lacounty.gov, and we'll share this again at the end. And our final presentation now is about the Community Impact Arts Grant, or CIAG. And this is now a program that we've had for 10 years at the county. And I am delighted that Mara Morris will be providing the overview on CIAG. So Mara, take it away.
Hi, everyone. You can just go ahead. Thank you. The goal of the Community Impact Arts Grant Program is to increase access and strengthen the quality of arts programming made available to communities who might otherwise not have access to the arts. So we have funded health and human services, criminal and restorative justice, community and economic development, workforce development, and environmental justice organizations, just to name a few. CIAG is designed to promote and highlight cross-sector strategies and support organizations that provide high-quality arts programs as part of their larger mission to provide services to individuals and communities outside of the arts. This year, the total program allocation is $500,000. Next slide. Organizational eligibility is extremely important. So if you have any questions about any of this, please reach out. You can email the CIAG inbox. We want to make sure people are clear on eligibility before they begin work on their application, so as not to waste anyone's time. So organizations must be a 501c3 nonprofit, a municipality, a tribal government, or have a Model A fiscal sponsor agreement with an eligible organization. Next slide. CIAG funds LA County-based organizations whose primary mission is to provide services other than arts programming. This rather arbitrarily determined by more than 50% of your applicant's organizational budget devoted to non-arts related programs. But as the other programs have stressed, it's really about your mission. So if your mission is an arts-based mission, then you would be eligible for OGP. And if it's a non-arts-based mission and more of a social services mission, then you would be eligible for CIAG. You must have an operating budget of more than $25,000 annually. Your principal offices must be in LA County, as demonstrated by the address on your tax documents. If you are a nonprofit, you must have a functioning board with more than half of its members residing in California. And in terms of your organization's art programming, you must show a minimum of 2 full and consecutive years of arts-based programs with a minimum of 4 arts programs per year. Next slide. Failure to meet any of these eligibility requirements, whether on the organizational or project side, will result in the disqualification of an application. You should definitely check out the CIAG guidelines, attend a workshop, attend office hours, and also Adelaide Kuhn, the CIAG program manager, is available. She's checking that inbox and I'm supporting her, and we'll make sure that we get all of your questions answered. So CIAG, next slide. In terms of our projects, we are providing project-based funding and not general operating support. CIAG is a 1-year grant. So you do need to make sure that your project, both the narrative and the budget and the whole scope, fit within the timeline for the 27-28 grant cycle. That's July 1st, 2027 through June 30th, 28. Competitive applications will show that they are providing arts programming for communities that otherwise would not have access to the arts. The application provides the opportunity to describe your population served, as well as the impact of the proposed programming. And if you are providing arts education programming, it must take place either outside of the school or after regular school hours. Next slide. Please make sure you familiarize yourself with this list of ineligible projects. Travel outside of LA County and hospitality cannot be included as part of your grant-funded project expenses. That being said, transportation for travel within the county is allowed, and housing and hospitality expenses can be part of your one-to-one cash match that your organization will be showing under project expenses in the budget section of the application. Next slide. A couple changes to the application this year. The maximum grant request amount has been amended to $10,000. This is really just to make sure that request amounts are slightly more in line with how much the final award amounts are. And there was such a great delta between those two numbers that it became very untenable for planning on behalf of you, the organization. So we're trying to mitigate some of that issue. Office hours again are going to be open for courtesy reviews of applications before you hit submit. So make sure you get started on an application early and come to office hours. Adelaide will be checking for eligibility issues and anything of that nature. And starting in the 28-29 cycle, there will no longer be a correction window for any applications. So once you have submitted, if something is missing or inaccurate that makes you ineligible, you'll just have to reapply the following cycle. Next slide. So, as in the other programs, there are a number of supporting materials that you will need to prepare. It's best to get started on these sooner than later. Your financial documents need to match, meaning they are for the same fiscal year end and that the reported revenue amounts match or are within 10% of one another. And please note that the completed audit is only required of applicants with an annual budget of 2 million or higher. The artistic documentation is crucial for evaluating the artistic quality of an applicant and project or program. Panelists pay really close attention to this, so provide the context of the submission in the artistic description section. This would include title, location, artists, dates, any participant impact, information that panelists would need to understand prior to viewing the sample. A minimum of one and a maximum of two artistic samples must be included with the application. We recommend using recent samples and uploading the maximum number in order for the panel to see the depth, breadth, and range of your arts programming. And last slide. These are optional but highly, highly encouraged supplemental materials. We just wanted to stress that including strong materials here is what might make your application more competitive, and panelists tend to score more favorably when these are all completed. I think I'll just end by stressing that because CIAG grantees are non-arts organizations, making sure that you really fully demonstrate the impact of the art program is important. And that's that.
Thank you, Marv.
Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't see the chat well. So if
Sure.
someone can flag any CIAG questions that have come in.
Yeah, I have a couple. Mara, can an organization qualify for both an OGP and a CIAG grant?
Absolutely not. No, don't do it. If you are eligible for OGP, you are ineligible for CIAG and vice versa.
Great. Can you share about how many expected awards CIAG will make?
Oh, that's a really great question. The award grantee pool, it does fluctuate year over year. Historically, it has grown. This year, I think we have somewhere around 86 grantees. I might have that number a little bit off. It's in the high 70s to mid to high 80s. It's a little bit in the weeds, but the Arts Commission annually will vote on a cutoff score, and so applicants that scored above that cutoff score are awarded a grant. And last year, I can just tell you that everyone who was eligible and completed an application was awarded funding. The cutoff score was met by every eligible applicant.
Excellent. Next question is, can the proposed CIAG site change, but if the target population stays the same?
Absolutely. So for situations where maybe a program is like on the road or visiting multiple locations, that's absolutely acceptable. And I think also strong to just include in your narrative that you are taking your program to your communities and meeting them where they are, and that would be very compelling.
Wonderful. Does CIAG require matching funds?
Yes, there is a one-to-one cash match, and that'll be part of your budget. That is in the budget section of the application and also in your program narrative.
Great. So the deadline for CIAG and we shared earlier is going to close on October 5th, but when should applicants expect to hear back about their awards?
Oh, a timeline. Great. So that'll be all available in the guidelines as well as on our website. And all of those materials will be going live soon in the month of August. Uh, Usually, what happens is you will have your application deadline in what is it, early October. In the fall. Or in like winter, staff is auditing for eligibility. Panels happen in the winter. And then in early 2027, arts commissioners review and approve in the spring, and announcements are in early to mid-July every year. So you don't actually hear about your award until the project cycle, July 1st, has started.
Gotcha. Next question is, do hybrid or remote programs qualify for CIAG?
Yes, absolutely.
And then next question is, where did it go? Can current CIAG grantees 26-27 apply for both internships in Bloomberg? I'm assuming they mean AIP and Bloomberg.
Yeah. I mean, yes, right? Yes.
For AIP, yes, certainly.
For AIP, yes.
With the Bloomberg team, you would need to check in with their team. Really, just to kind of put a finer point on this, if you are a non-arts organization, meaning that your organization does not primarily provide arts programming and that is not your mission, the only way that you can participate in the LA County Arts Internship Program is becoming a CIAG grantee first.
Yeah.
So just I want to explain that for the LA County Arts Internship Program. Kim, did you want to add to Bloomberg?
If I can get the mute button to work. Yes, absolutely. The Bloomberg Arts Internship Program is specifically internships for high school students to be at arts and culture organizations. So unlike with AIP, it is not open to social service and social justice organizations that have arts programs, but specifically geared for arts and culture organizations.
If you are a 26-27 CIAG grantee, meaning you just signed your award agreement, then you would be eligible to apply for AIP in this coming 27-28 application cycle.
Correct.
And as a CIAG grantee, it's a 1-year grant, so apply every year. If you just filled out your award documentation, you still must apply this fall to receive an award next year.
Okay, I think that ends the CIAG questions. And I know we didn't quite get to everything. We want to make sure we're moving this forward. Please, please, please come to an application workshop. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Martin. And I just also wanted to stress again, do not apply to both CIAG and OGP. It's one or the other. The reason we have that your budget is either 50% or more for arts programming or less is just one way to try to distinguish that. It is really about what the overall mission of your organization is, but it is also about budget. This last year, we had a lot of organizations that applied for both or for the incorrect program. We know your time is limited in your search for funding for the work that you do, so we want to make sure that that's really clear. And when the OGP and CIAG workshops are available, that's an opportunity to ask those questions. Again, we don't want you to waste your time. We want you to apply for programs that you're eligible for. And I will move into now, I just want to do a plug for folks to serve as a panelist. If your nonprofit is either not going to apply this year or you're not ready to apply this year, I really, really want to encourage folks to sign up to potentially serve as a panelist. We will have over 20 panel application reviews next. We're kind of in next January through March for both OGP and CIAG. Ideal folks to serve as panelists, as peer panel experts, are educators, artists, arts administrators, and your organization is not in the pool for a specific program, as well as community representatives and board members. For CIAG, particularly folks with knowledge of nonprofit and social services sectors make strong panelists. We ask that you spread the word. It might be an opportunity for someone on your staff. We have an online nomination form where folks can either recommend others or self-nominate. If this universe of applying to government grant funding is new to you and you may need to wait a beat before you apply, I promise you that reviewing 20 applications, scoring them, adding comments will strengthen your grant writing. You'll really see how the panel discusses your organizational narrative, artistic documentation, etc. It is a way to kind of get some technical assistance in there. We do offer an honorarium for folks that review applications, and it's kind of like arts jury duty service, if you will. It will take a minute to review about 20 applications, and then everyone comes together to discuss those applications during panel season. So can't say enough about it. We need you. This is what makes the process as rich and robust as it is. And questions. So these are the emails by program. If you have really specific questions today, for AIP, that's internship@arts.lacounty.gov. For the Bloomberg High School Internship Program, that email is bai@arts.lacounty.gov. Grants, this is for OGP, grants@arts.lacounty.gov, and then CIAG is for the social service, social justice organizations with arts programming. So there are folks that are managing each of these programs and are very responsive. We want to help you submit a successful application. So go ahead and send your questions there. And I am going to stop sharing, let's see, and see if we have some remaining time to answer any other questions that there might be. Let's see, I'm just heading back into the chat after having the PowerPoint open. Is there anything that the team sees? What were the award sizes for the OGP grant? Fantastic question. It depends on your budget size, because your budget is what your request amount is, and then it's a percentage of all available funding. We do have a change this year. So we had a $5.059 million budget for OGP in 26-27. There were 266 awards. So organizations ended up getting about, I want to say about 35% of their request over 2 years. One of the new things you'll see this year is that we will have a new calculator. As Mara mentioned, the request amount for CIAG was reduced in order to have it be closer to what the actual award is. We're doing the same thing for OGP because organizations are spending time completing a budget and proposing a project. We want it to be closer to what the actual amount is. So saying here, do not freak out. It doesn't mean that with the new request amount, you'd be getting 30% of that. We're actually hoping it'll be a closer amount. We do have an online calculator where you can plug in your current budget and get a sense of what the award could be. But there's some things being updated there. Again, we're going to send everybody an e-blast once everything is online, working, and ready to go. So we encourage you to come back. But for folks that are going to apply to OGP, you can absolutely get started on the Data Arts profile and updating that. Make sure you have your financials in order, current 990s, etc. So it's just it is an opportunity now to start to get ready. Um, let's see, are there other?
Yes, there is a CIAG
Yes.
question here. Is the one-to-one match for CIAG from an organization's dedicated arts budget, or can it be covered by non-government funds or donations?
I mean, I guess the answer to that is if you are receiving non-government funds or donations and dedicating them to your arts budget, then yes, that would be fine.
Yeah, I think our big caveat is that your match cannot come from other LA County funds, but most arts orgs are not getting tons of other LA County funds. So, but we do have that in there in case there is a larger grant from health department or something like that.
Another
Um,
CIAG question. Mara, I think you spoke to this, but just to clarify, is CIAG travel within LA County to museums, art galleries, opera, music venues, etc. covered?
Yes, that is absolutely permissible. It's just travel outside of the county because the CAG program doesn't cover any awards for non-county programs.
Sure.
okay. Trying to see if there are any other, if there's something we missed. So yeah, this is the opportunity to start getting documents in order. The Bloomberg Arts Internship Program is the one that the guidelines and application opens first. So that'll be on August 26th. The following Monday, OGP and CIAG open up, and then a few days later, the Arts Internship Program opens up. So the only date where we have the same deadline is for OGP and CIAG in October because you're either applying to one or the other. For the other programs, it's spaced out a bit, so you're not having to burn the midnight oil working on grant programs with the same deadline. So it is spaced out a bit. And let's see, anything else? Okay. The team is here for you. We want to support you with this. We will also share, some of you are very likely getting funding from City of Los Angeles, maybe Pasadena, Long Beach. We'll share that link for other grant programs if this is something, if government grant funding is new to you. And we will be sharing the slides as well as a recording. And then also please email us with any questions. We're here to support you. So with that, if folks want to hop off, we will send this next week. Thank you, Charles. And we'll be in contact. So have a good afternoon. Thank you.